Back in my days as a seminarian, I was a student at the Washington Theological Union. The name Sister Margaret Carney conjured up these awesome images, and when other students would speak of her, we knew that she was very well renowned and very well respected as a woman Franciscan. To say that she is an expert in the field of Franciscanism certainly understates it.
In the late 1970s and early 1980s, all the Franciscan congregations of what we call third order Franciscan men and women were working on revising their rule of life. And Margaret was on the committees that were actually working on that. These 13th century sources, the writings of Francis, the writings of Clare, the early biographies of Francis and Clare, and get insights that at that time 20th century Franciscans can put into practice now.
I was the leader of that group. What I remember is that she was very well prepared. Not everybody in the group was. She was well prepared. She had done homework before coming to the meeting. We really had to go to our Franciscan roots and do it together. And so I do think that reinforces in Sister Margaret desire not only to get a master's degree in Franciscan studies here at St. Bonaventure, but to go really deeper in the role of Clare of Assisi in the Franciscan movement.
You know, I think there was a tradition that saw Clare very much in a secondary role. And, you know, sometimes you see a popular movie like Brother, Sun, Sister Moon. It was done by Zeffirelli, who had done Romeo and Juliet. Clare comes across in there much almost like Juliet did, sort of a teenager.
Do you remember me? I'm Claire.
I think Sister Margaret does a very fine job on a scholarly level and on a practical level of showing how St. Clare was a religious figure, a holy person in her own right, bringing her into the 20th and now the 21st century.
I think that when Margaret went in 1986 to Rome to study Clare in the frame of a doctorate, she was the first woman to get a doctorate at the Antonianum. She was the right person at the right time. Her research was eventually published as a book, The First Franciscan Woman. Well, Margaret was also the first Franciscan woman to study Clare that way.
I believe in the case of Sister Margaret, there are certain parallels that you can draw between her and St. Clare. Sister Margaret had a radicality about her, stepping outside of the norm and becoming the first woman to get a pontifical degree from a school in Rome, becoming the first woman religious as a president of St. Bonaventure University. She broke the mold, and she's broken outside of perhaps the norms that we experience, all with the end result, though, I believe, of living an authentic religious life.
I think what will remain most of all is simply the heritage of the way she works with people. That's one of the things that is very clear in the rule of life that she helped write for contemporary Franciscans.
Wherever she has been, and there are many places throughout the world, she has made a mark, and her name is still there. I hope she can go back to Assisi. It's her dream to go back and rest there. But I also know that there are so many people who will be jumping of joy when they will see her back in the streets of Assisi.
In the world of Franciscanism, I believe it comes down to how do you live your life individually as a professed religious, and I believe that's at the core of it all. I firmly believe that Sister Margaret really does an awesome job of living the Franciscan way of life. On behalf of the Association of Franciscan Colleges and Universities, I want to thank you, Sister Margaret, for all of the contributions that you have made, not only to the world of Franciscan scholarship and to higher education, but to the fine example that you set as a woman religious, as an authentic Franciscan figure in the world today. We thank you, Sister Margaret. I wish God's blessings upon you, and I wish you all the best in your retirement. God bless you, Sister.